So, after a long, painful journey here, I finally got my baby to sleep. It has taken me all day, and it's literally like 4 in the afternoon. And I've been struggling with her all day to get her to go to take a nap. And now I feel like I need a nap, but I can make videos now that she's asleep. Hopefully, I don't wake her up. But she is pretty much ruling my life now every single day. So the Muslim said that I need to take another look at the Quran with an open heart. So I'm going to take another look at it with an open heart and, do my best to give it a fair, objective view of what the Quran says. So it says, your women are a field to you. In some of the versions of the Quran, it says a field to be plowed. So enter your field as you please and send beforehand good for yourselves. So, I mean, that sounds really nice and dandy and everything. I just don't know if I want to be a field to be plowed. I think, like, the Bible says that husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church. And that a husband's supposed to, like, sacrifice for his wife and love his wife. So I could have that on one hand or be a field to be plowed. I'm just going to see, as I go, open heart, do the best I can to give it a fair, fair judgment and look at it fairly. And I'm reading The Cow now. This is a book of the Quran called The Cow. And just like we have like Colossians and Ephesians, they have The Cow. So, and here it talks about divorce. And it says, if he divorces her a third time, so it is not lawful for him to take her again until she has sex with another husband. So if he divorces her, then there will be no sin on them if they return to each other, if they think that they can keep the limits of Allah. This sounds like, being divorced, this already complicates my life. It almost sounds like it might complicate it a little bit more. Basically, the Quran tells you if you divorce your husband for the third time, then you have to go marry somebody else, sleep with them, then you can come back to your husband. And this is like a punishment for him to learn to stop divorcing you so many times. Sounds a little bit complicated. Like, my love life is already really complicated, being divorced. So this just sounds like it would make it even more complicated. So, and I've ran into a Muslim couple that was actually having this situation where, in the Muslim concept of divorce is basically just saying like these 3 words, and it's like when they're arguing, then the husband said the 3 words, so they were technically divorced, is the way that the lady explained it to me. And this had happened a couple times. So now they were like almost on their 3rd divorce, and she was just like really worried, like, oh no, I'm gonna have to sleep with another guy before I can go back to my husband. And I'm like, why do you keep getting divorced? And she's like, well, we're fighting and he's being violent, and and then they ended up getting these divorces, which isn't like a legal divorce through the court. It's just like the guy saying a few words to the lady, and then they're technically divorced in Islam. And once you get to the 3rd time of this divorce, then the wife has to go find another guy to sleep with before she can come back to her husband. That just seems so complicated, It really complicates your relationship because now you have some other guy in the middle of all your marriage problems. And, what if the other guy wants to stay married to her or wants a relationship with her? That just sounds like it totally confuses marriage. And there's a lot of things in Islam that confuse marriage, but we'll get to that later. The next one tells us that like the witness of 2 women is equal to that of 1 man. And I think men already have this inflated view of themselves. A lot of men are narcissists. A lot of men like have a really inflated ego. So I think that if I converted to this and I believed this, then I would be at risk of even more, abuse, basically, from men than is already out there. And there's already a lot out there. So that just, to me, doesn't sound like it would work. And here it says, like, if you do get divorced, then the woman has to wait 4 months. So that, so if they get back together, basically, if you get divorced, you have to wait 4 months before you can get remarried. I mean, and I think in the United States, I just went through the divorce, but it was like kind of went quickly because there was some bad things going on, so it went really fast. But usually divorce, they make you wait like a year almost if there's kids involved. So a 4 month divorce wouldn't even happen normally in the United States. You'd have to wait a year. But you're wondering, why is this waiting period? And it says, and the divorced women should keep themselves 3 menstruations. It is not lawful for them to hide what Allah has created in their wombs. So basically, Allah is worried that if a woman doesn't menstruate like 3 times before she sleeps with another man, she might be pregnant. The only problem with that is that after a woman menstruates once, they're just not pregnant. Already having man issues, I think this would also complicate my life even more. It says that good and obedient woman, guarding that which Allah has guarded, and of whom you fear rebellion, preach or chastise them, separate them from the bed, and scourge them. And like already having relationship issues, this just sounds like it makes things even worse to me. But we're keeping our mind open. We don't want to be closed-minded. So I'm going to look at what it has to say about Mary giving birth to Jesus, because I'm sure that we can gain something from this. It says, so the pain of childbirth came on her by the trunk of a palm tree. Okay, I've had 9 babies, and 2 of them were miscarriages, and it was so painful. I just can't imagine, hugging a palm tree. I was like on the ground. I'd be like on the ground, or I'd need to be laying down in a bed. I don't know. But she said, oh, I wish that I had died before this. Yeah, I know that feeling. That's happened to me before during childbirth. It's understandable. And I was forgetting. So he called her from below her. Oh, that never happened. So basically, Jesus says, do not grieve. Indeed, your Lord has made it creak under you. And he's speaking from her crotch, basically during birth. And shake the trunk of the palm tree toward you. It will drop fresh, ripe dates on you. So eat and drink, please I. So basically, while she's in labor, can barely breathe, giving birth to Jesus, his head pops out, and he says, shake the palm tree when you're in labor, and then eat and drink when you're in labor and you can't breathe. I mean, the doctors tell you not to eat or drink anything, and I have snuck a few things, like before I got into really active labor, like sneaking stuff out of my purse. But when you're in active labor and the baby's head's coming out, you really can't eat and drink at that point. But apparently Jesus, he's coming out of her crotch, and he says, eat and drink. And if you see any human, say, surely I have vowed a fast to the merciful, so I will not talk to any human today. So eat and drink while you're in active labor and the baby's head is coming out. And if anybody comes by, tell them that you're not eating or drinking and you're not talking to a human today. It makes no sense. I mean, I'm trying. I'm looking at it with an open heart. And then it says, oh, sister of Aaron. Wait, Mary is the sister of Aaron? Now I'm getting confused. Okay, so when did Mary become the sister of Aaron, which would be like the sister of Moses? Last I checked, Moses was in a totally different time period than Mary, the mother of Jesus. But here the Quran calls her sister of Aaron. Your father was not an evil man. mother unchaste. So she pointed to him, then said, how can we talk with him who was in the cradle, an infant? So she's pointing to Jesus. Is this still during labor? Is he still just like coming out, or is he out of her at this point? And she's saying, how can he talk from the cradle? Surely I am the servant of Allah. He gave me the book and made me a prophet, and he made me blessed wherever I was, and commanded me with the prayer and legal arms. I don't know. It's just like, how is Mary supposed to be the sister of Moses? I'm still kind of stuck on that. And then she's saying, how can Jesus talk from the cradle? But she's still in active labor. And right before this, she said she wasn't going to talk to any humans today. We'll just try to keep her mind open. So, Muslims don't believe that Jesus died or was resurrected, but instead he was taken to heaven and Judas died in his place. And it says, peace be on him, the day he was born, the day he dies, and the day he is raised alive. So now I am thoroughly confused. So then it says, it was not to Allah to take some son. But then we also just read about the pain of the childbirth, and Mary, she was having Jesus, but they're saying that it's not the Son of God, but yet it's supposed to be a virgin birth. Again, just scratching my head. And here it says, infidels indeed are those who said, surely Allah is the Christ, the Son of Mary. So infidels are those who said Christ is the Son of Mary. So wouldn't that mean the Christians, the ones who said that Christ is the Son of Mary? Then here it says, Allah has not taken some son, and there was not any other God with him, or else each God would go with what he created, and perhaps some of them will be against the others. And then it says, O prophet, perform jihad against the infidels, which we already established was probably Christians, because they're the ones who say that Christ is the Son of Mary. And their abode will be hell, and the evil is the final place. So basically, Christians should be jihaded and go to hell. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. You know, I've tried with an open heart. I'm just not feeling it.